Hey everybody, it is Tuesday and it's 2 o'clock, so that means it is time for Top 5 Tuesday. I'm your host from Crate Insider, Kate Dillon, and I have a special guest in the studio today.
I don't know about how special.
You are very special. you know how special you are. You are one of the very first manufacturers who let me sell their products.
Oh.
You are, like of our first 30
well,
products.
How come I had to beg you so much?
You did not. It was teamwork, right? When we first got started. So,
Yeah.
Of course, Buck Parker from Daytona One, and today on our show, this is basically going to be the Daytona One show today, and so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And so with that, I actually have a couple of great giveaways from Buck and Daytona One. So the first giveaway is a Daytona One hat right here. So this red hat, red and black, look at this, still has a tag on it, everything. And all you have to do to win our giveaway is just leave a comment. You can say hi, you can ask a question, you can, whatever you want to say, you can leave that as a comment. And at the end of this video, we'll take a look at how many comments there are. I'll bring up random number generator and we'll pick a winner. But I also do a second drawing, and this is, see, you can't buy this in stores. This is special, right? And I have another special Daytona One thing. If you remember what my sign said last week, put that as your comment, and that will go into a separate drawing that we'll do at the end of the show. So this Daytona One, it's an insulated mug with the plastic lid here.
They do a great job.
Yep, stainless steel, so keeps it nice and clean. I love these stainless steel mugs.
But that coffee stays hot half a day.
It's amazing. Or, you know, drinks stay cold too, because I've taken cold drinks to the beach where it's hot and the ice stays cold.
It does.
Pina coladas. But I mean, coffee, cold stuff, it doesn't matter. Either way, the insulated mug. And I see lots of familiar faces here. So I see Daryl and Brandon and Chelsea, Mikey. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm so glad you're here. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about we've got a whole line of Daytona One products, but we're going to talk about 5 of them today in kind of not a total particular order, but kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the number 5 spot this week, I want to talk about D180. So D180, you just released this year, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's we actually called it a degreaser, and we should have not called it a degreaser. It's just one badass cleaner. You know, I've never seen anything quite like it. It will clean anything. Grease is grease's worst enemy. Just spray it on, leave it 3 seconds, wipe it off, it's done. So.
Well, and I actually used it today. Because I was cleaning my sink, and so like you get toothpaste and soap and just icky stuff on the sink, and I sprayed it. And what I love about it is it kind of, reminds me of scrubbing bubbles.
Oh.
Because it foams up,
Yeah.
and when it foams up like that, you just can tell that it's cleaning
you
that.
spray it on and actually let the bubbles do the work.
Yeah.
And really, and then when it doesn't take 3 to 5 seconds, and then just wipe it away.
Well, and what I love too is the last time I saw you, we were trying it out on a wall, and so at the shop there's all of these like just dirt and like chairs that go up against the wall and stuff, and you sprayed it, let it sit for about 3 seconds, and wiped it off, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it just cleaned it right up. And so I get really excited because most of the products I sell, I don't have a race car, so I can't really use them. But this is a product that I'll be using all throughout my house now. And the D180, this only runs $5.97 a can.
It's an amazing product for
Yeah.
that, and it lasts forever.
Yeah, and I just got started using it, so I'll definitely give you a report on that. But I'm looking forward to using it. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to is, you know how on doors and on cabinets, how they get all the little finger marks on them?
Yeah, it makes them new.
Drives me crazy. So
just 2 seconds.
Yeah, so D180, and we're going to call that in the number 5 spot here this week.
Oh, cool.
All right, next up, in the number 4 spot, this is probably, will you grab the Dirttrack Trans Fluid?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what is special about your Dirttrack Trans Fluid.
Well, we built this product for the Burton brands, and that type transmission to work with a clutch, but also to allow it to shift easier. So, and I know you guys that's been out there, when you put it in gear, it grinds, clanks, and all this other stuff. This product will take 80% of that away, and it shifts, and it runs so much better and cooler.
And I actually had a customer call me, and he said that his son generally goes through clutches in a season, and he put in the Dirttrack Trans Fluid, and he was he was just shocked that he actually had to take apart the transmission for some other reason, or was just trying to maintain it and to pull it apart, and the clutch wasn't shot for once.
For the money, this is the best product that you can find.
Oh,
it's a full synthetic as well.
Yeah, full synthetic, and it's $21.97 for a quart here, and
one great product, and it lasts for a long time.
And biodegradable too, right?
Biodegradable, non-toxic.
Well, and that's what I really love about Buck's products is there's nothing that we're talking about today that has, some of this stuff is so harsh.
Well, depending on who you buy it from, and the cheapness. When we our base stocks are double cracked. That doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. That means they're more so pure than anything else that you can buy. You can buy single crack base stocks, but all of our base stocks, the minimum is double cracked.
Okay.
And so it's down to its purest form, and then we start blending it with the additive package to make it work. So it's a pretty cool product.
Kind of like extra virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Except this, I don't want to put this on the bread, but it really wouldn't hurt you.
No, but there's I can understand olive oil grades, and then it's extra virgin means it's the first press, or and the same thing with the synthetics, and then it's refined some more. And
I like the way you think.
I know. I always girl it up a little bit. How can we take it to the kitchen, right? Okay, next up in the number 3 spot is Dirt Off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I know
one of our newest products.
It is one of our newest, and it's becoming one of your most popular too.
Amazing product. This is great for any type of off-road use. We were talking earlier about the hard areas up and under a race car. When you get on a muddy track and then that mud just gets up in there, especially these Carolina and Georgia mud. It's amazing. I don't know about the rest of the world, but when it gets in there, it gets like a rock, and it's hard to get out. But this product will actually, if you spray it up in those hard to reach areas or just anywhere, it will release the mud and the dirt while it's wet, and when you get home, it makes it so much easier to clean up.
Well, and I can see a lot of my friends with side-by-sides using this too.
Oh, that's another great product. I mean, I don't know if you go mudding on the weekends. We have a place called Mud Muckers.
Mud Muckers.
Mud Muckers down. It used to be but they had, I don't know what that was, but it wasn't mud. It was the worst stuff I ever saw. It was black.
Like concrete.
I think it would eat some of the bikes that were out there, but it was an amazing product. But this product works there. If it works there, it work anywhere.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love, I know we saw it used on the race car a couple weeks ago. I know one of our great fans here, Brad, he's used it and has had great success with it as well. So I know Brad's a lot of times on the call here with us. But yeah,
this is a great look. It works well on motorcycles, side by sides, you name it. We've got some really fast I wish I could remember his name. Anyway, he's using this. He's winning championships. So yeah, it works well.
And it also looks it makes the plastic a little shiny too, doesn't it?
It'll renew any plastic. It's a silicone based product, so it'll pull the pigments back out. So it'll renew the plastic, but it's made to release dirt.
I love that. And if we don't have dirt, we're not picking up extra weight. Mm-hmm. We're also not throwing off our suspension. We don't want to do that because you end up with 50 pounds of mud on one side of the car.
The handling is totally wrong.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. All right, so Dirt Off, and it runs $5.99 a can, and I know a lot of people will buy it by the whole case. I mean, they'll get a whole case of it because shipping. You're going to save money on shipping by buying several of them at a time.
I would say so.
All right, next up in the number 2 spot, probably our second most popular product, is our Daytona One 3060 gear oil. Mm-hmm. And I got a couple of these, so you can grab the other one here.
Oh,
so this comes in a couple different sizes. I know, of course I did. It would look weird the other way. But we can buy it by the quart or by the gallon. I probably sell more gallons than I do anything else. And I think that's about what a rear end takes, is about a gallon.
You have about a quart left on most of them. A lot of them,
So you have a little bit spare.
But if you're on the quick change, you're gonna need it. Top it back off. You change gears and stuff, so it makes it a great size to buy.
Now let's talk about some of the advantages, because I know it cuts down on parasitic drag, and as a result also makes the gears run cooler. So first, I love your explanation of parasitic drag. So could you explain that to us?
Okay, so imagine your rear end. When we put a camera inside a rear end to see what's really going on in there, and when the axles or rolling around. Normally they're about inch and a quarter or so around. When they're running on a lot of gear, your oils that you'll find that gear will get about 2 inches around, and all it is just hanging. The oil just physically hanging on the gear. It's just spinning. Well, that's drag. That is parasitic drag when it hangs on like that. This little machine that if you see this machine, it's at the auto parts stores. The gear and all that oil that goes up and around, it sticks. Well, that's the worst thing that can happen to your race car. You don't want that to happen. Lubricants, you want to go in, lubricate, and leave. Go in, lubricate, leave. When it leaves, it also takes the heat away from it. So if you put a coat on something, what happens?
You get warm. Yeah.
So why would you want to put a coat on anything? What you want to do is take the coat off. In other words, it's not viscosity. It's not the thickness that lubricates. It's the additive packages and the products that actually do the lubrication and protection. So if you want to go faster, I can promise you this product takes a lot of drag away from that rear end, and the rear end, and it takes and it actually. Well, on some of the dynos, we show actually a 3 horsepower gain over some of the best oils out there.
Yeah, so and that's in a crate. Well, and plus I love your protection that's built into this too.
And every product we have.
Yeah, so you're not going to have the extra wear. You're going to keep the temperatures down. So tell us about that too. I mean,
Well, and on this particular product, well, on all of our products, but on this particular product, we dyno tested with a good friend of mine, Larry Pollard, LP Gears. And Larry has been around for a long time. When I first walked into Larry's shop up there, it was sort of like a guy walking in. You know how those junkyard dogs sort of walk around with a hair up on the back of the neck? Well, I didn't know Larry well, and that's the way I thought he was going to bite me anytime. But he's turned out to be a great, great friend. He was just one of the nicest guys. But he dyno tested this product himself. They were dropping temperatures 7 to 10% over Mobil 1's gear oil, so that's pretty strong.
Well, and you've even heard stories about some racers who are changing their gears barehanded too.
I don't recommend that, but yes, we have more than one person that's called us and said they can actually barehand their quick changes now. So I'm and I say I just put a pair of gloves on, even if you don't have to have it. But
Well, yeah, because then you have to wash your hands, or I guess you have to wash the gloves. I don't know.
but it takes a lot of temperature. It drops the temperatures and gives you more horsepower. What else would you want?
No, I think that's everything you would want. And then for price point, we're looking at $21.08 a quart, or you get a better value with the gallon, and it runs $68.19 for the gallon. And of course, I stock this.
People run this. It depends on your rear end, but you can run this all year long.
Yeah, I mean, most of my customers do. They'll run it for an entire season, and still at the end of the season, we've taken a look at that before too.
Looks pretty nice, doesn't it?
Still looks good, and isn't all gunky or anything like that.
It's really good. It's a full synthetic, and it's a double crack product as well. And so we start with the best base stocks that you can get when you start this.
That's awesome. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, because when we're doing drawings, then I'm going to jump over the comments and see if there are any questions. So feel free to drop in a question. Well, that brings us to our top product. Oh, actually, before we announce our top product, for anybody who is late joining us, we have 2 giveaways going on. First of all, if you just leave a comment, you'll be entered into our drawing for a Daytona One hat. Or if you know what my sign said last week, then go ahead and drop a comment in with what the sign said. There we go, and have a chance to win this insulated mug. So we'll be taking a look at that comments at the end. Great. So that brings us to our number 1 product, and I think this is darn close to being my number 1 product on the website too. And that would be our Daytona One XL1 engine treatment. Definitely one of my favorite products, and one that I can use. I use it in my passenger car. So I love it for that.
It doesn't know where it's at. It's going to reduce friction and reduce heat anywhere it's at. Stop wear. That's its job.
Well, and that's really, really good to keep keep wear down, but also for performance. And this is an engine treatment. You drop it into your oil, so like 2 to 3 ounces per quart of oil.
2 ounces per quart of motor oil, and per quart of motor oil in a race car, just 1 ounce in your regular car.
Oh, gotcha.
You don't have
I'm doubling up. I guess I'm super powered. I have a super powered Toyota.
You get on average 1 to 2% horsepower, 1 to 2% torque. So on the other day we dynoed up north, and I'm not going to say what it was, but it was on a 600 horsepower motor with a 2-barrel carburetor. That's a spec that they had to run that 2-barrel carburetor. It gained 13.3 horsepower.
Ooh, wow.
That's pretty nice.
That's impressive.
But even on a crate engine, if you gain 4 to 6, I asked somebody the other day. I said, "Let me ask you this: you go into an Advanced Auto Parts or wherever, and you go up to the counter and says, I want 5 horsepower. and what would you pay for 5 horsepower? Well, this product, time and time again, gives you 1 to 2% horsepower. Well, if I give you 2% horsepower on a 400 horsepower engine, that's 8 horsepower.
Yeah. And
So
we
if you
average
only got
3 to 6,
1%,
but like,
3
3 to 6 is kind of the average.
So
and then,
you think about it. If you've got that, even if you got 3 horsepower, and your buddy doesn't, pretty big difference.
well, and also keeping it cooler. I mean, there's all of the other pieces of it.
But the big thing, you'll never wear out another cam or another bearing. This product stops wear inside an engine. I'm not going to tell you ain't going to over rev it and break it, because I've done that myself. but you can you as far as wear, you will not wear out a cam or a bearing.
Well, and I always say that it binds at a molecular level, and it basically binds to any of the iron. And I always, when I think of iron, I think of like steel or rust, and that it, not rust necessarily, but rust reminds you that just iron is always jaggedy. And that this would bind at a molecular level to make a smoother, slicker surface.
If you look at a piece of metal under a microscope, it's got hills and ridges and holes and everything else. People don't realize that. This product physically impregnates the metal. It becomes part of the metal. If you've ever seen our demonstration, we basically treat a bearing and then run it without any oil.
Yeah, you and I did that experiment, so we got a video that's on that too.
We can prove that it does impregnate the metal and protect.
I was so impressed when I saw that.
Yeah.
And so this runs, you talked about how much would it be for, 1% more horsepower. Well, $24.95 for a 16-ounce container. And then now you've just changed the bottles on this, so I need to update my website as well.
This is 72 ounces.
So 72 ounces now.
And it's like at $84.95, but it's like getting 4 of those bottles.
4.5, really.
Yeah, a little bit over, for the price of 3.
Yeah, so it's a good way to go.
This is a great way to buy it, and it does have the easy little container. You can squeeze it up in there, and then you can measure it out, and then this one has the measuring devices on the side.
Actually,
it won't do it. It's sealed.
Oh.
See, you got the seal in it. Once if you take that off, it.
Yeah, I think I kind of cracked it there. So it's,
did you? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit anyway. I just cracked it a little bit.
But a lot of times, like motorcycles or something else, you only need a half an ounce. Or go-karts especially, you don't need but a half an ounce.
Yeah, and this way then you can pour it out from there.
Yeah, because go-karts.
Measure and pour bottle.
A lot of the go-karts, you'll gain a third of a horsepower to a half a horsepower, and people say, well, it's only a third of a horsepower. Well, when you didn't have 10 horsepower to start with, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that is our top 5 this week. I'm going to take a jump over to the comments here and see if I have any questions, and we'll get some drawings going on over here. And I do need to bring up my random number generator since I'm a slacker today. I didn't do that yet, but we'll get it. And let's see. So Alex has a number for me. Okay. We do have Alex in the studio today helping out with our drawings. And let me see here. And then I'm going to jump in here and answer any questions. So the winner of our mug, actually who knew our sign, was Brandon Reynolds. So Brandon, if you would, please send me a private message with your address and we'll get that sent out to you.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Yes, excellent. I'm going to write that down. And then I need to do the other drawing really quick here.
By the way, that's a collector item. We don't have any more of those.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, yeah, what a great advantage. And I'll give this number to Alex, and he'll get us set up. And okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some questions here. Brian says, I use Daytona One products in my race car. It's awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll to the top here if we can. And let's see. Daytona One has some great products. Yeah, you're getting all kinds of kudos today, Buck.
Most of those people I paid.
I love it. Cheap horsepower. That's a good way to think about it. How often is recommended to change out the rear end oil?
Well, normally we run it all year. If you change your quick change, you'll top it back off, but you can run it all year.
Great.
It's a great product. It lasts a long time.
Charles. And our winner of our Daytona One hat is Charles Harpole. Charles.
Congratulations, Charles.
Yeah, so Charles, please send me a private message with your address and I'll send you a hat. And I'm going to keep looking at questions here. I want to make sure we get through any questions that we might have right here. And Brad says Buck and the team are turning out some really great products.
See, I know I paid him. Did I pay him?
You might have paid him. So Terry, does it contain zinc? Tell us about zinc.
Well, zinc is a good product. There's some of the older technology, but there's a lot of the motor oils out there now. It's ZDDP. It's got a long name, but it's zinc.
Okay.
But yes, no, it's a proprietary formula. It's got 11 different products in it that reduce friction and wear, and so but no, it's not a zinc-based product.
Gotcha. Here's one. So on an 8-quart oil pan, how much goes in, and is it good for break-in? First of all, on crates, even though it's an 8-quart oil pan, we only ever say use 7 quarts total, and so then generally we're using half a quart, because
16 ounces.
Yeah.
2 ounces per quart.
So we'd use one of these and like 6.5 quarts of oil in a treatment, but it's not good for break-in.
No.
No.
Actually, you break your motor in before you even put this in. If you don't, the rings will not seat.
Yes. So that's important to know that.
Now, but once you seat your rings, normally when you dyno one, the rings are seated, then you're good to go. I wouldn't go out there and run 4 or 5 races without this product because you can get some damage. And don't run that braking oil a long time either.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get the braking oil, get you a good solid oil back in that motor, because the braking oil is meant to do that one thing, break in. And it doesn't work well with any moisture content or any corrosion activity. You just get it out of there as soon as you can.
And you don't need 100 laps to do that.
No, you don't.
And then one more question, and I know the answer to this one, but I'll let you answer it. Can you run it in a 9-inch?
Well,
I'm assuming the 3060 here.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't know where it's at. It works in any rear end, which is the cool part. In between 2 pieces of metal, it's going to reduce friction. It's going to take the heat away, and it's going to give you a better running rear end and a cooler running rear end.
Great. I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh,
He's coming all the way up. He's up here from Florida. So thank you, Buck, for being here. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, for being part of Top 5 Tuesday. And I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.